Hey, good evening, and thank you for watching the Scabbard Ottawa Senators game night. It is also Frozen Frenzy night. ESPN has decided in its infinite wisdom as part of the TV contract to have one night of the season where they're going to have all 32 teams playing. Games starting tonight here in a half hour. Watch lots of hockey tonight. 6 p.m. start. I'll go through the games that are going on tonight. Tonight at 6 o'clock, Washington hosts Toronto. Anaheim is in Columbus at 6:30. From 6:30, there's for 13 straight games. They're staggering the start times. So at 6:30, Anaheim and Columbus, Buffalo and Ottawa at 6:45, of course. Carolina Hurricanes will be in Tampa at 7 p.m. The Devils are in Montreal at 7:15. The Dallas Stars, Pittsburgh Penguins at 7:30. San Jose Sharks at Florida Panthers at 7:45 p.m. Colorado and New York Islanders kick off at 8 p.m. That's on the island, so late start there. The Detroit Red Wings will be taking on the Seattle Kraken at 8:15. Another late start for an Eastern Time Zone team. Um, the Boston Bruins will be in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks, Central Time, so 7:30 start there. 8:45 Eastern, St. Louis will be in Winnipeg. Edmonton will be in St. Paul, taking on the Wild at 9 p.m. Vancouver Canucks will be in Nashville to take on the Predators at 9:15 p.m. Rangers will be in Calgary for a 9:45 p.m. start. Then there's a little bit of a break between the last couple games of the night. Arizona is in Los Angeles at 10:30 p.m. And then the final game of the night is Philadelphia at Vegas, which is I'm sorry, 11 p.m. start. So 8 p.m. local in Vegas. We'll have games going from 6 p.m. until almost 2 a.m. On the East Coast. Quite a day ahead of us for hockey. Um, we'll get to the debacle of last night's game here in a moment, but I'm excited for this. If you have ESPN and that's it, you'll be able to see games all night. It'll be the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Washington Capitals kicking it off. The 8:30 start for Boston and Chicago, and then the final game of the night, which will be the Vegas and Philly, will be the final game on ESPN. ESPN is also doing a kind of an NFL red zone like experience. Um, I'm not a big fan of John Buccigross. John Buccigross is important in that he is kind of the ultimate hype man for the game of hockey, especially American hockey. Not my cup of tea. If you like John Buccigross, if you like someone who's hyped, you can check that out. I believe that's on ESPN too, and I'm sure they're running it on the app as well. Um, as for the other games, you can all watch them on the ESPN app and check out the games that way. That's how you'll be able to watch the Buffalo Ottawa game tonight. Will be on the ESPN app unless you're local. Then of course you can watch via MSG on your local cable. For me, I am in West Virginia, so there is no way I can watch the game local. All right. So what was that last night? Absolutely horrible, horrible performance last night. Well, not horrible. That's a little bit of an overreaction. So let's see. We'll get to the stat of the night. It's not really that big of a stat. It's their first loss of the season while out shooting an opponent. 37 shots on goal, only one get through. Jake Allen. Um, the rest, outside of a couple power play chances, were really kind of um, outside the dots shots, and you kind of need to get inside the dots to make a difference in this league. Um, and that's where Skinner's goal came from. He took it right to the net and beat Allen short side in the power play. 8 seconds into a power play, but again, as far as the game goes, the Sabres have been consistently inconsistent this year. You know, they put together, kind of a stinker the first game, a decent game the second game, but didn't get the win. A decent game the third game, got the win in overtime. Um, gave a late lead and had to scratch that out in overtime. Had a really sloppy game against the Calgary Flames. Uh, Played a game, just a magnificent game against the New York Islanders, and then just lay a complete egg when it comes to the Montreal Canadiens. And I think there were two things that happened in that game. Um, First off, the Sabres got frustrated where they, in the game against the Islanders, they skated. It took them forever to score. I mean, it was a period and a half, almost all the way through the second period before they got their first goal from Skinner. But they didn't get frustrated. They kept pushing. They kept pushing. They kept focus, and eventually they knew they would break through. And they respected the Islanders. Those are two things that didn't happen on Monday night. They got frustrated. You could start seeing, especially in those power plays in the third period, they were whipping the puck so hard that it would just explode off the sticks of the guy trying to catch it, shoot it. Um, I'm not saying finesse passes here because that's a good way to get things intercepted and going the other way, but you 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 don't need to throw the puck that hard. Um, and all you're doing is, allowing your frustration to take over, and you're costing your teammate a chance to score. There's no reason for that. And then the other thing is they didn't respect Montreal. Like they thought, well, this is just Montreal. We'll come in. Eventually the goals will come, just because we're here. And for God's sakes, shoot something besides the glove side on Jake Allen. Yeah, that first goal went in on his glove side. That was more a positional issue rather than his glove hand. Uh, After that, his glove side was solid, and there was nothing to really shoot at on that side. Go to the other side. There was only a couple of really good chances that went on the other side. One was a puck was up in the air and it was tipped wide, but you know, take a chance on the blocker. Blocker is usually a better side to go anyway. Um, at least high blocker. I just didn't get their philosophy last night. There were a couple times in that power play where they played well. They had some good chances and just couldn't get it past Allen, and that kind of led to that frustration as the game went on. Don Granado said that the guys did not commit to scoring. We'll listen to some audio here in a minute from Don Granado about the play last night. As I mentioned, they got frustrated. They allowed Montreal to hang around. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do with a team that is not as good as you is to allow them to hang around, and then anything can happen. Late power play, a dugout puck in the crease that gave them the lead in the late power play that extended the lead. You dug your own hole, and combined with Granado saying that they didn't commit to scoring, didn't get to the dirty areas. Well, that's a recipe for disaster. And then the other thing is that I think they did allow Montreal to dictate the pace. Montreal is a fast team, and they're all go, 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 go. Um, I don't think it's really a sustainable way of playing hockey, um, or follow the age. Oh, yes, actually, that's good news today. So the NHL came out with the news feeds today because they had banned the rainbow tape at the beginning before the beginning of the season. Which, I was not in favor of. I thought that's stupid. Let people tape their stickers up however they want to. I didn't agree with the ban on the Pride Night jerseys. Um, Today, the NHL reversed itself, and players can now use specialty tape in warm-ups. It doesn't have to be Pride. It can be, military appreciation, whatever. Whatever kind of tape you want to use, you can use. I think it's just in warm-ups, but I'm not sure. I haven't read the full statement on it, but they are allowing Pride tape to be used, which I'm happy with. There's a whole company that set themselves up to make Pride tape, and the NHL kinda kneecapped them. So I'm glad that they've reversed the decision. Sometimes you make the bad decision, um, and I think they realized that, and was kind of a PR error on their behalf. So, but I'm glad to see that they've gone to that. Um, so yeah, let's listen to Don Granado talk about last night's game. This will talk about kind of the frustration, what they didn't do, and a little bit about Alex Tuck.
When you're struggling to score, go to the net more. Be willing to score maybe the ugly one, the grittier one, and that's how you resolve it. I think the group will. We know we have goal scorers in here and guys that can make plays. I just think that'll come as we get to the net with more conviction.
Doesn't appear you're getting much at this point from Alex. How can you get more from Alex, a guy who still doesn't have it? It's almost at 40.
Yeah, Alex is, obviously we're going to look at, I just watched a little bit, even post game, and we'll watch more, but he's a guy we need to get him going more than he is at this point. Let's just say that. And so that, as you go through your day, you should priorities shift based on needs. You can't tackle everything. And, we'll spend a little more time with Tucky and try to get him going in the right direction. And, but he's a big asset that I don't think he's found his game yet. For us tonight, we had opportunities to score. We didn't score. That was the difference. That game could have been put away, and it wasn't. They were able to hang around because we couldn't convert on chances, and that's what you leave yourself exposed to.
Sorry, the audio is a little bit light. It is locker room feed, and it's courtesy of Sabres PR and the Sabres digital press box. Check out that website, though, Sabres digital website. Um, there's actually two different ones. There's kind of an older version, and then the one that's actually attached to the official website. Check that out. It's got a lot of good stuff if you want to get extra prepared for a game day. I use them a lot. Let's see, and let's get some words from uh, Tage Thompson talking about frustration last night.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but I think as soon as you let frustration set in and negativity, then you're never going to get out of it. I think goals come in waves, and I think a lot of times it comes, like I said, in waves, and you get streaky, and you just got to do the right things every shift. And I thought tonight we did, and obviously that's why that one hurts so much. But we can't change anything. We got to play like that. It's 2 games we've strung together in a row now that I thought we took away the will of the other team, and had them kind of defeated mentally, and obviously they get one in the third there, it gives them some life. But
Yeah, I, I I think he had a little bit rosier version of what happened last night. There was some issues with the way they played. I thought they controlled the puck more, but they were a lot sloppier than they were in that Islander game, and and then that when that frustration set in, and they were starting to miss passes pretty frequently there in the third period. Um, we can talk about all the missed chances that they had, especially on the power play. There was that one power play in the second period where they had really two good goal mouth chances, and then in the third period they had the one power play where they Tage Thompson on 2 consecutive shots. First broke the stick of David Savard, and then on the second shot broke his skate blade off. You see that flying off in the corner, and Savard is reduced to just kind of a lump on the ice. He had to take a knee and just kind of hope he could inch his way into the way of the block shot. And eventually the puck came around to Jeff Skinner, and it went um, right into the glove of Jake Allen, and ended that threat. Um, that would have tied the game and got Buffalo tied. And I think maybe the outcome is a little different if Buffalo scores on that power play. But again, Montreal eventually goes down, takes the lead, extends the lead on the power play, and Sabres end up losing 3-1 on that game. So turn the page. No time to rest because even less than a normal game time away. We start earlier than we did last night, so 6:45 versus a 7 o'clock start. Had to travel. We are in Ottawa. A lot of the things are up against us. The Senators are 3-2 on the season. They had 5-2 loss in their last time out against the Detroit Red Wings. currently occupy the fourth place in the Atlantic, technically wild card one or wild card two. Um, of course, it's way too early for us to start assigning or looking at wild card or positioning. But the Sabers are just 2 points behind the Sens. We're not out of this, even though we've had a slow start and a bad start. But this is a very important game for the Buffalo Sabres. I think looking up who they've got coming up the next couple games, you got New Jersey, you got Colorado. Um, Gonna need a result here tonight. I said that going into the weekend, that they needed to win 2 out of 3. They took care of business against the Islanders. Could have got that 2 doing beating the Canadians last night, which would have been the easier task. But tonight you're in Ottawa. They're rested. They had a couple days off, and now you're up against it. You got to play a really good road game. So let's take a look at the forward lines for the Senators. Projected forward lines from Daily Faceoff: Brady Kachuk, Tim Stutzla, Claude Giroux on that first line, Dominic Kubalik, Josh Norris, and Drake Batherson on the second line, Matthew Joseph, Ridley Grieg, Vladimir Tarasenko on the third line. Who would ever thought that Tarasenko would be on the third line? I said that last night about Brendan Gallagher, and of course he scored a goal. Um, Fourth line is Parker Kelly, Rourke Cartier, and Mark Kastelik. That sounds more like soap opera names than hockey players, but we'll go with it on the fourth line for the Ottawa Senators. On there, I got Habs on here. I always, well, it's the Sens. Sens projected defensive pairings: Sanderson and Schwat, Chikrin and Hamannik, and Branston with Bernard Docker on the third pairing. And our goalies tonight for the Ottawa Senators: Anton Forsberg looks like he's going to get the net. He's had the better of the run of it in the early season for the Sens. He's 2-0. Jonas Corposalo is backing up. He's 1-2 on the season. So yeah, it looks like we got Forsberg, who's been playing well so far. Scratches for the Sens: Artem Zub is injury. It's a day-to-day injury, not anything seen as long term. For our Sabres top line, there really is no change. There's a little bit of flip on the centers on the third and fourth line, although I think that really kind of established itself during the game yesterday. Greenway, Thompson, Cousins, first line; Skinner, Middlestat, Tuck on the second line; Paterka, Krebs, Olafson on the third line; and Gergeson, Yost, and uh, Kyle Posto. And as with every other game before the season, the defense pairings remain the same. Samuelson, Darlene, Power, Yoki Haru, Johnson, and Clifton. In net tonight, Ukko Pekka Luukkonen. Look at all those double letters. Yeah, he's starting tonight for the Sabres. Eric Comrie will be backing him up. I don't believe Devin Levi traveled with the team, so he is still out. We are just kind of guessing on the Sabres lines. I haven't seen anything out from official Buffalo media yet today about their line, so I don't know. There was a chance that Benson could come back. Um, that would be an interesting spark for a team that's having trouble scoring goals. Sabres had like 23 goals last year through 6 games. They have 13, so barely over 2 a game. They're going to have to address their scoring, although I think it's like a historically undershooting rate for them, especially for Tage Thompson. I expect Tage to get going soon, and hopefully Tuck gets going soon. I know that the audio talked about giving him a little bit more focus, but Benson still listed as day to day. Levi also day to day, and Bryson being the healthy scratch. Tonight's odds from DraftKings: Buffalo is getting a goal and a half. So if you bet Buffalo, even if they lose by 1, they will cover that bet for you. And the over under, which is surprising, seeing as little as Buffalo has been scoring, is 7, unless they're thinking that Ottawa is going to put a beat down on us. Um, it's remained 7 for a while, so have to score 8 or above for the payout if you're going over, and 7 and below for the under. So tonight's player profile is Jeff Skinner, and I'll tell you what, Jeff Skinner is a beaut. He that goal song of his, um, "Breaking Free" from High School Musical. One thing you got to love about Jeff Skinner is he's authentic in his poppiness. He loves him some pop music, um, whether it's 80s pop with "I Want to Dance with Somebody" like he had last year, "Party in the USA" by Miley. Uh, it the first year that the Sabres allowed individual goal songs, and I actually absolutely love the fact that the Sabres allow individual, goal songs for their players. Jeff's about halfway through now his, big mega contract that he signed with the Buffalo Sabres after his first season here. There was lots of rumblings when he signed with the Buffalo Sabres for that second contract, and especially those first 2 seasons out the gate, it was not a good look, as, Skinner struggled mightily as the entire team struggled after that contract was signed. But after the last couple seasons, is he worth a $9 million contract? You can make the argument that no, not really. Um, Especially after the first 2 seasons. Last couple seasons even may not make up for that. Um, but I'm glad he's under contract for a good long while. I like his energy. I like what he brings to the room. Um, Original draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes, came over to Buffalo in a trade, um, really for a song. Uh, Cliff Poo and a draft pick, I believe, was what we ended up giving up for Jeff Skinner, and Poo, I think, is playing in China right now with Red Star Kunlun. Um, so that was definitely a win in the book, even if Skinner continued to have kind of mediocre seasons. That was a big win versus what developed out of the trade on the Carolina side. So, but yeah, Jeff Skinner, returning to the 30-40 goal plateau that contributing, really setting up that first line. Although he's on the second line tonight, so it has been for the last couple games. All right, so what are the keys to tonight's game? First, you can't chase the game. You're a road team who played last night, who is not getting even a full day that you would have on a back to back because you're playing earlier, getting to the rink earlier. You had to travel, so your schedule's upset. You can't fall behind early. You can't chase the game. Um, if you're playing well, like they had the last couple of games, like skating wise and controlling the puck, you're playing well like that. Don't get frustrated if the first shot doesn't go in, or you go a period and you haven't scored, but it's still tied. Don't get frustrated. Keep plugging at it, kid. Do what you did with the Islanders game. Keep plugging at it. Keep plugging at it. Good work will be rewarded eventually. And to get that good work rewarded, got to get to the dirty areas. Get down low. Get sticks in the crease. Get the goalie uncomfortable, because if you continue to just get shots from the outside, any NHL goaltender that's worth a damn will be able to stop that. So get to the front of the net, tip the puck, make it hard for the goalie to see. Do all the good things, all those things that are the recipe to scoring success in the NHL. So because you're not seeing a ton of goals getting scored off the wall. You're seeing the goals scored in the dirty areas, big rebounds, things like that. Um, Scoring is down this year. That is definitely the case, which is why I'd probably take the under if I was a betting man. I'm not really good at betting, so I don't bet, but I do like to give you guys the skinny on that. And let's see. I know we had a today's date. I believe it was from the late 70s. Yeah, on today's date, the Sabres get points from this is October 24th of 1979. Sabres get points from 11 different players, including three-point efforts from Gilles Perreault, Jim Schoenfeld, and John Van Boxmeer as they defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 7-3 at the Odd. So that is some happy memories. Also in 1982, Sean McKenna scored his first goal in the NHL in a 6-2 win against St. Louis. So good stuff for October 24th. Hopefully, you can make some better memories based off of tonight's play. And that's pretty much it. We got 5 minutes till puck drop in Washington, D.C. So turn on ESPN, turn on the ESPN app. 6:45 puck drop for the Buffalo Sabres versus the Ottawa Senators. Go Buffalo, get the 2 points, get yourself back into this race and back into some winning hockey and reward yourself for some not the Montreal game was good in spurts. Um, but especially for that Islanders game, get yourself right scoring the puck. Hopefully Tuck gets going. It was interesting hearing Don Granato actually single him out during the press conference of it not getting, that he needs to get better. So does that light a fire under him? Maybe. So we'll see. Next game, let's see. When are the Sabres back in action? It's going to be against the New Jersey Devils. Um, yeah. So next game is Friday. So Friday at 6 o'clock is the next episode of the Scabbard, previewing game night of the New Jersey game and going over what happened in this game. So look forward to seeing you then. Go Buffalo! Let's go Buffalo and get the win. And we will talk to you all on Friday night.